So, okay, guys, yesterday we had discussed about core content, how we can create all the services. If you want to call a custom fields, calculate fields, how we can call integration maps. So, these are the things we have seen yesterday, guys. Okay, so today we're going to see what are the launch parameters, how it's working. Okay, so before go with that, I'm going to remove the transactional service. I'm just enabling the all the transaction type and eligibility criteria. Where is the eligibility criteria, guys? Where it is available?
Configure
And
integration field overrides.
yes, under that we have a define eligibility tab. Here we have create a one true or false condition, guys. So I'm going to give a any true. So this is also true or false condition, guys. This is also true or false field. The boolean field, if you can observe here. Okay. Always it's returning as a true, guys, for all the employees. I just done. Let's see. I'm going to run this integration. So always we go with this four parameters, guys. So this all four parameters we're going to give, guys. So regularly we have seen as of entry movement means by default it's taking the current time, current date, and effective date also it's automatically taking the today's date. Okay, and the last successful run date means when you ran the integration successfully in the last time, okay, that date and time it will take. Okay, same as last successful effective date means when you run the integration successfully with the as of effective date, with the as of effective date, so that event, previous event date it will take, guys. These two dates when you ran the integration from last run, okay, that event from that event is taking the dates, guys. These two dates, okay, these two dates and the last integration event of the as of entry date and as of effect date. If we can observe, what's the time now? 7:39 p.m. Okay, so I'm going to give a run, guys. 7:39 p.m. guys, if you can observe, and last successful run as of entry date is a before yesterday date. Okay, 7:39 p.m. I ran the integration. So between these dates, as of entry date, last successful as of entry date means 22 to 23. Okay, December 22 to 23. Did we made any changes for any employees? No. If did not made any changes, then no one will be returning in the output file, guys. Okay. So it will check one more check, guys. It will check between this date range. If we enter any data, if you did any changes for the any employees, those employees will be captured or condition. Okay, less than or equal to this effective date. Between this effective date, okay, between this effective date, any employee having the effective date character, effective date correction, guys. It means effective date, any data is created with effective data, this dates between these dates. Okay, those employees will also capture. Okay, between this date changes or between this effective date between these dates, guys. Any one of these conditions satisfied, those employees will be extracted. Okay, if none of the employees, okay, not enter any correction or any data between these dates as of entry moment, and the last successful as of entry moment, and there is no effective date for the any appliance between these dates. No one will be returning in the output file guys. Okay, if any changes between the dates, then only this appliance will be picked guys. Okay, let's see. So we'll see few examples, and if you can observe, there is no data guys. Okay, worker count is 0. Let me run one more time. Previously it is 7:49 a.m. right? 7:39. Now see 7:43. Okay, previously it is 7:39 p.m. Now it is a 7:43 p.m. Okay, and effective date the same effective date. Entry date got moved. Previously it is 22nd December guys. Now it is 23rd. When we ran the integration last time guys, 7:39 p.m. right? 7:39 40 seconds p.m. guys. The same time it's got written guys. Previous run integration as of entry movement automatically it will take to here guys. Okay, effective date, this effective date last integration event effective date, it will take the last successful effective date. If we run this integration between this time same date guys, sorry, so dates are the same guys, dates are the same, it will check the time guys. Between this time 7:39 p.m. to 7:43 we have a 4 minutes. Between the 4 minutes, do you change any appliance guys? No, right? So let's see, none of the employees will be not captured guys. If you can observe three output file, none of the employees will capture. Worker count is 0 guys. Now we can take one employee. Okay, we can take one employee guys. 21002 or 21003. We can try to make it change guys. Okay, so contact information. We have included the address, right? Edit work contact. I'm going to give as a, okay. I have added one guys here. I have added one plus submit. Process is successfully completed. If we go to this worker history, where we can find the changes, guys, employee history, right? This is the person. Worker history, right? If we go to worker history, initiation date is descending order. If we can observe, this is the 7:46 p.m. We have a made change for this worker contract change, guys. Okay. Effective date we have given today only. We have given today only, and it is successfully completed. So if it's a in progress, those transactions will be not captured, guys. The status should be successfully completed. Then only this data will be captured. Let's see. We have made a change 7:46 p.m. on the same date. Entry date is same and effective date also same, guys. Let's see. I am running this integration. So see guys, 7:48 p.m. right now time, and the previous time is 7:43. So what is the time we have made a change? 7:46. So we need to consider as a completion date, guys, not a initiation date. Completion date is 7:46 p.m. So which is between the date, time, and right? Between the time only, right? So then click OK and see, guys. Now we got a output file, and if we can observe worker count is 1, the employee ID is 21003. What's the change happen? If we go to the email section, this is the email. So we have a old value this and a new value. We have added one condition here, one, guys. Okay, which is a prior value, which is a new value, guys. So because of this change, this employee got extracted, guys. Okay, with the different employee, I am going to give a 21004. Where we have effective date, effective date. The effective date I am going to give as a future date, guys, which means 27th of December. I'm giving the future dated transaction, guys. Please observe, guys. Future dated transaction, which is 27th December. Now I'm going to change as a email. I have added a one, guys. Okay, and doing the submit. If we can observe, go to work history. This is the completion date is 7:50 p.m. Okay, which is completed, guys. But effective date is future. Okay, so if we can observe, can anyone guess, guys, this employee will be extracted or not? Effective date, let's see. As of entry date under last successful entry date, 748 to 751. What is the change? 750. It means which is the between the date range. Let's see effective date as well. Effective date is December 27. I'm going to give as a effective date is a 23, guys, not 27. Okay. So entry date it will check the between the date range or not. Coming to effective date, if it's a satisfying this entry date, okay, and it will check the effective date as well. The effective date should be less than or equal to this date, guys. Less than or equal to this date. But come to here, which is a future dated guys. Not today or less than today, guys. Which is a feature. In this case, this employee will be not extracted, guys. Okay. The same way, if you do a transaction with the effective date of November, November 1st or November 31st, okay, that employee will be extracted, guys. Because of This is a less than or equal to this date. Okay. In that case, it will not consider as a last successful effective date case. It will check only as of effective date transaction. Okay. When you when you made a change, there is no date between the entry dates, but less than or equal to effective date only, and greater than or equal to this effective date. Then definitely it will be captured. Now in this case, entry date is a 7:50 p.m. 7:50 p.m. is a between the date range, and effective date is a 27. It is a greater than or equal to effective date. It means which is a future dated transaction. If I run this integration, let's see. See guys, none of the employees is not extracted guys. If I run this integration now, let's see guys. This is the as of entry date is a 7:54. Last successful date is a 7:51 guys. For this employee, when he made change, 7:50. Between the date range guys, yes or no? Yes. Observe guys, which is the transaction completed at 7:50 p.m. It's taking the data 7:51 to 7:54, which is a between the date, between the time. No. So in this case, this employee will be extracted or not?
No.
No, sir.
No. Why? Because of it checking the data. The data is not between the date and even effective date also not between the date guys. It's a future date. So it will not pick a output file. Okay. So let's as of effective date, we can take it as a 27, which is we going to run integration from 27th date guys. And the on 27th date we going to run an integration, which is a future date. Now check guys, date range between the date range, this employee got changed, no right? And the effective date is between the date, this date or not? Yes or no? Effective
Yes,
date
sir.
matching the condition, right? Exactly.
Yes.
So in this case also employee will be extracted guys. Let's see. Yeah, even the entry date match, not match.
Sir, one dot, the effective date should not allow the future date, right? You said.
No, entry date I'm saying. Because of we cannot enter the future data, right? We're going to enter till now.
Okay.
See, this employee, one more employee got changes. 21008. That employee is extracted. But what we may have made change, that employee is not extracted. Let's see why this employee is extracted. 21008. Age got changed. Let's open the data diagnostic card file, guys. 21004. 21004, right? No relevant changes for this worker information detector should has been included in the output document. Effective date 12/23, 12/27. Transaction name minus 8 hours we should take. Okay, which means 23, 27. I think we should take it 28. Relaunch the integration event, guys. I'm going to give a 28. Let's see. So for the diagnostic audit file, it will use this way, guys. When the transaction happened, but what is the summary? No relevant changes between the worker for this date ranges. Okay, and when the worker got change it happened, work contact change for this employee and between these dates, guys. This is the effective date and this is the entry date, guys, which is entered on 23 December 7:50 p.m. Effective date is this one. One more employee 210051, but actual employee is not extracted, guys. I think it will working as a let's the date last successful run date is 7:50, right? 7:50 p.m. and between the 7:59, so which is 7:50 p.m. and effective date. If we keep it the same way also, this employee is not extracted because of that employee is effective in future. So we can take it as a future dated effective date and let me run, guys. This is the date we're going to take is a 23rd. Let's click OK and run. Now we got a 21004, which is a mail got changed 21008. Okay. Okay, guys. So due to this, so it will check the prior entry. It means last as of entry moment and last successful as of entry moment between the date and the effective date should be less than or equal to this date, guys. Less than or equal to this date should be matched with the effective date of the employees, guys. Then only it will be captured, guys. If it's a future date and effective date, that transaction will be not captured, guys. Okay. The same way, if it's a past date, it will capture, guys. Why? Because of it's a less than or equal to this date, it will not consider this date. Okay. So if you want to test one employee with the last transaction, 21003 employees. So in real time of last week or before last week, so one expected employee is not expected by the integration. The business team raise a ticket on the after 1 week or 10 days, guys. Okay, after 1 week or 10 days. So they ask us to test why this employee is not extracted by the integration. We will check the worker history and for example 21001, 21002. We have three, right? 3. So if you go to the worker history, so they're saying like work contract got changed, but this employee is not extracted by the integration. Maybe due to some seconds also it will not be captured, guys. Okay. When we change for this apply before 30 seconds, 7:46, 30 seconds also it will not be captured, guys. Okay. So, so we will check when it is completed, what is the effect date. Based on that, we're going to take a launch parameters. What is this? 7:46 p.m. right? So we can take it as a 7:46. We can take it as a 7:40 p.m. and which is a date is a 23, and this is also 23. We can keep it as a 23, guys. Okay. So if we want to change, if we don't want, for example, it is a different. This date is a more data, guys, more days. For example, the previous run is a 23, but today is a, you think as a 27. Okay, it will extract a lot of employees, so we can keep it to 23 itself. Okay, same affected it as well. If you want to test, okay, we can run the integration. This way we can test, guys. Even if we run a normal run, okay, so even that employee is not extracted, we will go and check eligibility criteria, guys. First we will go and check eligibility criteria. That employee is a eligibility or not. Where we can check under field override services.
Field over.
Yes. Even the eligibility also satisfying for this employee. But still that employee is not accepted by the integration. We have given the proper launch parameters. So where we can check the another checks, guys, in the transaction log service, guys. Do they do they configure any transaction log to capture only hire or termination personal data change capture or not? We're going to check this transaction log services. Then we can inform to this employee is not eligible to do extracted by the integration due to only we have a made a transaction log services for the only hire and termination capture, not a work contract change. So due to that, this employee is not extracted by the integration. We can simply say like this things. Okay. So for example, we have test this integration. We are extracting a lot of data. So more people got happen between this time, guys. Okay. Between this time, so we are extracting a lot of employees. Lot of employees got changed. More than 10 employees. Okay. If we want to send a single employee record, how we can send? Let's see. I'm going to run this integration. Relaunch the integration. So here we have a workers cache. Okay, workers 21003. And how many workers you want to include in the output file? We can 21004. So how many employees you want to extract by the integration? We can include this into the here, guys. Okay. So for this one, this launch parameter will work, guys. If you want to include the specific workers in the output file, we can use a workers launch parameter to include the only specific workers, guys. Okay. So then if you run this only two employees, it will be extracted by the only two employees. Even for example, I'm going to select as a last successful run date as a November 1st. Effective date as a October 1st, guys. Okay. So when yesterday we ran with the October 1st file, October to till now, how many employees got extracted, guys? Around 18 or 22, guys. Yes or no? 18 or 22 people, right? So now we will extract either one or two, guys, if you can observe. Only 21003. If it's a 21004 changes happening between the date range, that apply will also included. Otherwise, it will be excluded, guys. Let's see. See, two employees got extracted. 21003 and 2100. None of the employees got extracted, guys. Okay, only two employees because of we have given as a workers under workers we are given only two employees. The same way we have restricted results by organization, guys. If you don't want to run a only two employees, if you want to run a specific organization, guys, okay, not a one or two employees or five employees. If we want to run a integration with the specific organization, global modern global modern services, PSC. If you want to run a integration with the supervisory organization, guys, under this organization, how many people got included, guys? If you can observe, this is the company. Under this organization, we have a 246 employees. If we want to run a 246 employees, is it possible to give a in the worker staff, guys? It is not possible. So that is the reason. If we want to run a multiple peoples, they are under all the same organization with the same organization, whether it's a supervisory organization or company, anything, guys. Okay. So based on that, if you want to run, we can run by restricted results by the organization tab. Okay, so which will run the integration for these two companies, two organization. Let's see. Now, if you can observe, total count is 32, guys. Why? Because of we have included okay all the organizations, guys. All of the organization total 242 employees. Under 242 employees between this date range, total 32 employees got extracted. Okay. So now we can rerun this integration with full file, guys. The last option is full file. If we run with full file, it will ignore the all these conditions, guys. It will ignore the all above conditions. It will run for the all the employees, guys. It will not consider any changes, guys. It will run as a the full file options. What are the eligibility criteria we have given? If any employee satisfies that eligibility criteria, those all employees will be extracted by this using the full file option. Let's click OK and run this application. Total 590 employees, guys. Okay. Total 590 employees. If we can observe, is there any changes for this first employee? From here, you can check, guys. Any changes? Existing any prior value tag, guys? No, right? You can check the other
No.
employees also. For this employee, no change. But even if it's a no change, also this employee is not extracted, guys. Even if it's a changes also, it will not consider, guys. It will not show in this output file. It will not show in the output file, guys. There is no prior value, guys. If we can observe for the previous file, at least one tag should be prior. Then only this will be extracted, guys. In the prior file, this is the total 32 prior values we have in the previous file because of 32 worker counts we have. So now total out of 590 employees, do you have any prior value, guys? No, which means there is no changes. Even no changes also, these employees, all the employees got extracted due to we select as a full file option. We select as a full file option. Due to this, it's extracting the all the employees, even those employees doesn't have any changes between this date range. If we select the full file, it will ignore the all these conditions. It will ignore the all the above condition. It will extract the all the employees records. Okay. So this way, these launch parameters will work, guys. There is an interview question also. Can you please tell me the what are the launch parameters available in the core control worker? Total 7 launch parameters. 4 is a date launch parameter. Remaining 3 is a worker. If you want to run a integration as a specific workers, we can include the under workers tab. Under restricted results by organization, if you want to run a specific organization, under the full file, if you want to run it as a full file without even if the none of the employees having the no changes, if you want to capture all the employees records, we can go with the full file option and come to 4 date launch parameters. As of entry moment, effective date, last successful as of entry moment, and last successful effective date. Between this date range, if any employees have changes, only those employees will be extracted in the output, guys. Okay. So this is the launch parameters we have in the core controls workers. Core control workers. Okay. So core control is completed, guys. Till now, any doubts?
Sir, launch parameter changes as we select different business object like location or organization.
You mean like each template it will be different, right? Yes, each template means this is the core count worker. It's having the 7 launch parameters. For core count location is a different. For core count organization is a different launch parameters. Okay. So we'll see later classes guys. Okay. For those how the launch parameters will be and how the integration will work for those integrations. Okay. No problems. For this core count workers, any doubts?
Bro, how can you improve performance of a core connector worker?
So we can use the eligibility criteria and transaction log service guys. If you want to specific transaction include in the output file, we don't want to capture the all the transaction. We can go with the core control like transaction log services, and we don't want to include the maximum required fields, maximum length fields, right? Yesterday I have shown you those fields. Don't select those fields to increase the performance. If you open the zip folder, so we will have only uh, we have only this about the launch parameters, and the second zip folder is containing the total 45 employees. Each employee have one record, total 90 employees. Okay. Any other doubts, guys? So, what is the task to create a core control, guys?
Create
Create
integration
integration.
system.
Good. Okay. So this is okay. We don't need to create. So I want to show you one more option for this core control worker, which is a non-DAS, guys. So there is a option DAS integration, guys. DAS. DAS means data installation service. Data installation service, guys. Okay. Data installation services means if you want to, okay, the integration core count worker is running a more than 3 hours. If it's running a more than 3 hours, okay, up to 4 hours the integration will run in production, guys. With the more than 4 hours, the integration going to fail. If you want increase the performance, we can use a data installation service option. And one more option is one more use case is if you want to create a if you want to call a calculate fields, you need to create a field override services. Yes or no? If we select a data installation services, we don't need to create a field override services, guys. Okay. So let's see. I will create one more integration. I don't want to show here. Create integration system. INT 128 CCW DS. If you select this data installation services, okay. So we don't need to select this all position data section, status data section, leave section. We don't need to select all the sections. Okay. Once you select a data installation service, then click OK, guys. Let's see. We need to maintain a version, attributes, Now, so we did not create any services, right? Personal data section, position data section, status data section. Even if we did not select any services, any section, in those areas in DAS services, by defaultly, if we go to the field attributes, by defaultly, all the services will be available here, guys. This is the personal data section, position data section, contract data section, leave of options, compensation data section, national identification section, transaction logs, everything, guys. Everything it will be available. We just select a fields, guys. Okay. If we want to include the what are the sections, here we need to select, guys. Previously in the integration services level we have selected, right? We need a personal data section, all the areas. But in DAS services, if we come to the DAS services, we need to select a integration field attributes level, the services, guys. Personal data section, status data section, position data section. Once you select this all the sections, if we go to expand, so we select a personal, status, position, right? Go to the personal data section first. Select the all the fields if you need, gender, birth rate, any name data if you need, like we select as a legal name. Okay. If you want to include the legal names, go to the legal name tab, select the what are the legal names you want. Name type, first name and the last name. This fields the title if you need. We can enable this. And come back to here personal data section. We have selected preferred name as well. Expand the personal data section, go to preferred name, select the what are the field you want to include. Okay. And come to the personal data section. Did we add the any address data section, guys? In the personal data section, did we enable? No, right? If we go to the address data section directly, even if we enable the all the fields here, this address data will be not extracted, guys. Why? Because of we have selected child elements, child fields, but we did not select a parent one, guys. Here we should select. Then only come back to the address data section. Then we can select the all the fields, guys. Otherwise, it will not considering as a fields, guys. Okay. And same way, position data section. Under position data section, we need a position ID, effective date. Okay. Position title. All the fields, whatever the fields we require, we can select, guys. If we need a organization data section, we can select and come back to the organization data section. We can select the what are the fields you need. Okay. This way we can do in the DA services, guys. Data installation service. Okay. Data installation service, guys. In the field attributes level, we can use. If we want to call a calculate fields, we need to create a field override service, right? But for this case, we don't need to create a field override services. You go to directly field override services. Under this, first one is the define eligibility. The second one is a field override services, guys. Each business object having the few parameters, but regularly we can add a fields under worker additional information. So how many fields you want, you can add those many fields here. We just give the name and add a field here, guys. For example, age field. We can give a age name here. Field we can select as a age. Okay. Same as yesterday we have selected one more field. What is that? The experience, right?
We use the calculated fields.
Yeah, those calculated directly we can call them. We don't need to create a field override services. Directly we can call a calculate fields, any fields, additional fields. How many you want, you can add more fields here. Guys. So this is the one more option, useful option for the DAS services. Guys. Okay. And eligibility criteria where we can define field override services. Right? But usually for DAS services, we can do a eligibility criteria separate option guys. Configure integration population eligibility guys. Population eligibility. Here we can give is any if we want to call a calculate field, we can call this true or false condition. Okay. This way we can differentiate between the DAS and non-DAS services. Okay. One is for we don't need to create a calculate field, and the second one is we need to add a eligibility criteria under population eligibility criteria eligibility, and we don't need to create a field override services for the calculate fields. Directly we go with the field override services. How many fields you want, you can include guys, and we don't need to select all the services in the integration services. We go with the field attributes and select the parent and child fields. Okay, so we can select all the fields, and it will increase the performance. And in the field override services, in the non-DS we can call a okay single instance, but here we can call a multi-instance field. And indirect changes, non-DAS services, it will not work for the indirect changes. For the DAS services, it will work for the indirect changes as well. Okay, these are the differences between the DAS and non-DAS services. Okay, understand guys? Any doubts on the DAS service integration?
Sir, which one is recommended?
So previously, the most of the people is using before DS, the regularly non-DS people, non-DS integration they are using guys. So nowadays, every person is using the DS services. The recommended is using the DS services.
Okay, sir.
Any other doubts, guys? On core content worker, core content worker is completed, guys. Tomorrow onwards, the XSLT class will be done, guys. Okay. So we will start a XSLT class tomorrow onwards, guys. DT. How we can create a XSLT for the core current worker, we can see guys. Okay. Okay. If you want to run the integration, I did not try anywhere guys. Let me show you. We have a output format by default selected the XML. We have a CSV format, but till now I did not select CSV guys. Let's see how it will work. If you want to extract employees record, I'm selecting as a 20 second. Okay, let's okay and run. How it will be displayed for the if we select as a CSV format. Now it's giving the error guys. Any output format other than XML XML is not supported when version is 17 or above. The previous version will support for the this. Let's select the previous version, guys. Only it will support less than 17 version, guys. Okay, it will not for support for the CSV format is it the new updated, guys. It will only support XML file. Let's rerun the integration. This is the XML file. The file name show you guys XML. Let's open the Excel file. We can open the notepad. There is no data type. None of the employees is not. You can try to run this big format with old version, guys. You can try, okay, and do practice on the DAS service integration, guys. Okay, creating a new integration using the DAS service and run the integration. Okay, any doubts, guys, on DAS service? Any doubts, guys? DAS service or non-DAS services? Do practice on the DAS service, guys. Any doubts? Let me know.
Sir, in the launch parameter, both entry date and effective date both should be satisfied. Then only we'll get the output file, no, sir, of a
Yes.
particular worker.
Yeah, between the date range.
That both
Between date-
entry date and effective date both should be satisfied.
Yeah, actually, it will work for the between the date. Entry date. Okay, it's a past dated entry date. Okay, but effective date is which it will accepted by the checking the effective date between the effective date range. Okay, so if it's a date range, entry date is between the date, it will accept it. If it's a future date, it will not accept it. If we select as effective date that is future date, then it will be accepted. You can try with the different examples, guys. You can get a better idea, guys.
Sir, in transaction log services, we have conditions with both transaction and business requests, no, sir?
Business process.
Business process.
Mhm.
So, which kind of comes under transactions and which we have to consider as business process, sir?
Because of if you do any created for the employees, it will trigger the business
Sir,
process.
voice is not clear.
If you do a transaction, any changes of the employees, guys. Okay. If we do any transaction of the employees, if we go to the worker history, it will show as a okay any business process. Okay, it is a business process trigger, right? So it's considered as a business process transaction. It will not show in the any business process for the changes. Those it will consider as a transaction, not a business process. Okay, but all the business process will be considered as a transaction. Okay,
Sir,
understand guys?
Sir, in previous example, we made change in the mail, no, sir.
Yeah, mail
That
which is a work contact change. Work contact change. If you go to the worker, contact change, where we have made a change, edit, change work contact information, guys. Change work contact information. I have made a change in the email, guys. So the back end it will trigger as a business process, guys. If you go to the process history and select the process, here it will trigger as a work contact change business process, guys. Work contact change business process. So it will come to here worker history level, guys.
then whatever change we'll make, it is a business process transaction, sir. But inside that, what the particular change we'll make, that comes under a transaction.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other doubts, guys?
Bro, I have one doubt. Actually, you are executed full file. That full file consists of 590 employees. For example, if full file contains 10,000 employees or above 10,000 or like 20,000, in that scenario, can we get any performance issues?
Yeah, definitely we will get a performances. It will running the integration is more time based on the what are the fields, how many fields you selected. It will run a 1 hour, 2 hours like that. In real
Okay,
time, that is the reason we don't want to go to the EAB. So that is the reason every time it's running the more time, right? So then only we go with the core connector to capture the changes file, guys.
okay, okay, bro. Yeah, thank you.